Today's episode is brought to you by Patreon. If you're interested in supporting the show, go to patreon.com/JoshuaVelas and become a $2 backer today and get early access to the new episodes. I'll be leaving a link in the description down below, but for now, on to today's episode. You're listening to the Augment Experience podcast. I'm your host, as usual, Joshua Velas. I'm a student, musician, and a gamer at heart. Join me as I sit down every week to talk about all the latest news in the technology, business, and video game world. I hope you guys enjoy. All right, everybody, welcome back to the show. My name is Joshua Velas. I'm your host as usual, and obviously welcome back to the show. Today's episode 231 of the show, and before we get started, we're just going to do a bit of house cleaning quick, because, well, yeah, as I like to do around here, so that makes sense of it, so let's just get on with the house cleaning. I do want to say thank you guys for coming back and listening to today's episode. It does mean a lot to me, guys. Constantly take time in your days to download episodes, to share these episodes, to constantly keep letting me know how you feel, whether you like my stupid face or not. At the end of the day, I greatly appreciate it, and I greatly appreciate that you guys take time in your days to, well, watch these video versions on YouTube or listen to them in the audio versions wherever you like to listen to your podcast. At the end of the day, I greatly appreciate it, and your love and support is also appreciated because, well, I've been doing this for a while, and obviously if I didn't feel like I was appreciated, then I wouldn't keep doing it. But I say that now, but it's like, yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. But aside from all of that, I do also want to say thank you to Patreon backers as well for supporting the show. You guys are also greatly appreciated. But let's get on with today's news story, even though it's funny that I'm talking about this now, even though it's been a little bit. The only thing that we should be mindful of with this story is that it is constantly evolving as time goes on. So there's no such thing as the full story yet when it's still continuing to evolve and change over time. So this is, patent pending. Things can change, things can escalate, de-escalate, a lot of things can happen. But what are we exactly talking about today? Well, if you voted on the poll, which this week we actually bumped up to 3 options for the poll, so woohoo, progress, I know, right? This topic was the overall winner due to the fact that, well, some can consider this the biggest video game leak of all time. Some can consider this, just a big leak. The implications for it, yes, are very interesting. Some people can say, oh, well, this won't have any issues for development. And some people are like, actually, this might probably push back the game a couple extra years. But you're probably wondering, what are we talking about? Well, if you've been living under a rock, it was confirmed that a couple days back, GTA 6 was leaked online officially, and that all the leaks were 100% accurate. They were all real test footage. It was over 90 video clips, and it just dropped all online randomly early in the morning. If I can provide a little bit of context here, I think I remember the day. I think it was Thursday. I just woke up, I woke up early, at 7 a.m., just randomly woke up. I was looking at my phone and I was like, well, I'm just getting ready to go for my walk. And then I see Twitter and I'm like, why is this trending on Twitter? And I'm just like, what the heck is going on here? And I just start talking to the homies. I'm like, hey, yo, are you guys seeing this? We were talking about other stuff, some of the mobile games and other games that we like to play and just other information that just came out. And then we see this stuff and we're like, okay, what's going on here? This is the first time anything about GTA 6 has been shown off or leaked. And clearly, we knew they were working on the game because it was talked about a while back that, yes, GTA 6 was in development. We just obviously haven't seen anything about it. There were obviously leaks. There was rumors about the story, that it would be a Bonnie and Clyde type of story, that there'd be a male and a female main protagonist. And in this case, based off the leaks that we saw, which I'm being honest here, I am not going to show any of this because, well, YouTube's a bit of a pain in the butt. And also, if we talk about the companies that are notorious for taking you to the courtroom, Rockstar sits up at the top of the food chain along with, well, Nintendo, because, yeah, these homies don't play games. If you intentionally leak or steal information from them, they will come at you with the full force of a legal system. So it's probably best not to mess with it, and, best not to, poke a sleeping bear. You know what I'm saying? Let's not shoot ourselves in the foot here. We're not stupid here. But the game leaked online. Obviously, to be transparent, a lot of the footage is pre-alpha footage. You could probably find it somewhere online. Obviously, it was super trending on Twitter. People were already downloading it. They were ripping the files, trying to get them the best quality. They're just holding on to them right now because obviously, based on some of these news articles, like where, prime example, this one from Kotaku that was published on Monday, which would be 2 days ago. And this was published on Monday at 4:45 p.m. The best details hiding in the GTA 6 leak. And this talks about how, yes, it's considered one of the biggest video game leaks in history. Some people can argue with the whole thing with the original Portal and Half-Life, or with Half-Life 2 and things like that, where the whole game was just downloaded online super early and it caused so many issues. And it talks about how like a lot of the early footage, there's like 90 video clips of, random stuff in the game, like showing the main protagonist walking through the world and stuff like that. It talks about like, a return to Vice City in a more modern Vice City setting, a criminal couple, combat, crime, all this other jazz. And it's funny because people are like, okay, Josh, how do we know these things are real? How do we know you ain't just, puffing smoke right now? That, how can we believe you? Well, I do have a message that was posted from Rockstar on their social media page on September 19th. And here's what it says. A message from Rockstar Games. We recently suffered a network intrusion in which an unauthorized third party illegally accessed and downloaded confidential information from our systems, including early development footage for Grand Theft Auto. At this time, we do not anticipate any disruption to our live game services, nor any long-term effect on the development of our ongoing projects. We are extremely disappointed to have any details of our next game shared with you at all in this way. Our work on the next Grand Theft Auto game will continue as planned, and we remain as committed as ever to delivering an experience to you, our players, that truly exceeds your expectations. We will update everyone again soon, and of course, we'll properly introduce you to this game when it is ready. We want to thank everyone for their ongoing support through the situation, the Rockstar Games team. This is one of those things where obviously people are going to be critical online. People are like, okay, we've heard GTA 6. This is obviously a very, very anticipated game. People really want this game, especially given the popularity of GTA 5, one of the largest game releases of all time, clearly one of the biggest money generators of all time. Like, it's a lot. And the fact that, test footage was, leaked out, the fact that the hacker in this case, which in this case, the hacker was allegedly identified. Again, this information is ongoing. So we know, but we also don't know. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things where, yes, they have suspected that the leaker was also responsible for the Uber act, or the the Uber hack that happened earlier in the year, and that this hacker is the same one that did it here, and also like it was part of a large hacking team that's located in the UK. And it's one of those things where it's just like, when you listen to how old the suspected leaker is, it's very shocking and jarring, the fact that I was a 16-year-old that managed to get into these giant corporation systems, and I'm just like, that's pretty funny. In many ways, to me, that's absolutely hysterical, because it's like, bro, a 16-year-old managed to breach your system. Like, that's extremely impressive. I'm just being honest with you, but it's also very bad because, yeah, that's a lot of sensitive information. In this case, a game that hasn't even bothered to release anything, and the fact that it was just all dumped online, pre-alpha footage. The other issue why people can say Rockstar is taking this very seriously is due to the fact that the source code was also leaked, not only for GTA 5, but also GTA 6. And some people are like, well, why do people care about buying the source code for GTA 5? Because, well, if you're a hacker, you're obviously trying to pawn off some of this information because it's obviously very valuable. And how ironic, there's already scams happening because of this stuff, so lol. But the fact that the source code for GTA 5, the reason why people care so much about this stuff is due to the fact that, well, yeah, it's still an ongoing game. If you leak the source code, then modifications can be easily, made. There's a lot of stuff that can go into it, especially for Rockstar, that they obviously don't want people like super modding the game, exploiting the ever-loving hell out of them. So it can, as much as they like to say this isn't going to cause any issues, it wouldn't surprise me if it does cause issues. And the fact that even Uber is talking about the situation too, where they came out and made a statement where they're talking about like, hey, the same hacker that hacked us earlier is probably the same guy that did this. And so they're currently working with the Department of Justice and the FBI to, well, hunt this person down. It's like, yeah, this is why I said this story is ever evolving. It can have some large implications for the future. And how ironic that now people are starting to realize maybe protecting your data and having data specialists and IT infrastructure and security and stuff like that is extremely important. That's also ironic because Uber and I think other companies right now are starting to do a massive hiring spree for IT security, and it's just wildly entertaining that this is happening now. I'm like, it only took you guys to get your information hacked, and well, not even your information, more like your systems hacked, and probably by a 16-year-old. They got taken to school by a 16-year-old. Like, I'm not saying corporations are good, that big corporations, stick it to the man, but it's like, guys, it creates some negative implications for the whole leaking culture, especially with how we get this information. It's different if leaks are acquired, say, like an inside source, like just gives a little nibble or like a picture of something, or say, I don't know, maybe patents that are publicly, public knowledge and things like that to provide information about things to come or maybe future projects and things like that. But the fact that somebody literally went in, hacked a server and was able to steal this information, and not just a little bit, a lot of information. The fact that they got the source code for GTA 5 and 6 allegedly, and they posted 90 video clips online, and it's just like, it has some negative implications for hacking culture and leak culture, because there's always been a lot of issues with leak culture. People have always thought like, leak culture kind of ruins everything. It makes people like not like stuff. We've seen this in big tech. We've seen this in other industries. Like, we see stuff like this happen all the time. And to be honest, I think it's kind of crazy that some people are just taking all this video game footage and just taking it as base value. Like, oh, this is what GTA 6 is gonna look like. Man, this game looks like trash. I'm like, guys, this is pre-alpha footage. It's a couple of years old, fam. Like, don't take this stuff. Like, people make a joke. They're like, look at how Spider-Man looked like in the pre-alpha footage and look how it turned out. Spider-Man is probably considered a masterpiece, one of the greatest games of all time. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, don't just take everything at base value. Clearly they're working on this game. Do I think there will be some implications, even though they like to say, hey, we're still on schedule, nothing's going to change? I think there might be some implications that they might end up pushing it back. Maybe they're downplaying the situation, obviously, just to stay face and keep calm and not worry people, because nobody wants to hear if GTA 6 gets delayed. Like, we know this game is not going to come out anytime soon. People are predicting maybe 2025, 2026. I personally made the joke with my friends that I don't think we're going to see this game until like 2030, given how much time they've taken. Like, think about it. GTA 5 came out like in 2012, 2013. Like, you see what I'm saying is like, they've taken their sweet time to work on this game. Like, granted, it's probably going to be one of the biggest games. We know this game is going to generate tons of revenue. This is not a debate. We know this game is going to sell millions of copies very, very quickly. There's a reason why GTA 5 is still a huge money generator, and why, heck, Red Dead Online was killed. There's a reason why even GTA Online is starting to like dwindle down and stuff like that, because they obviously want to pump all their attention towards working on GTA 6, because they know that GTA 6 is what people want. They know this is the big money maker. This is the big, the big project. And there's probably so much hype going into it. Like, the hype is probably through the roof, and people are going to have very high expectations. But I wanted to share some of this information because I feel like it was appropriate. Because let's be real, there's some of you that genuinely just don't give a monkey's dog doo-doo about any other person. Like, you don't like looking on Twitter for news information. Maybe you like coming here, and hey, I really appreciate it if you do. Personally, I think you should also look at other sources, because, I've always believed in, having multiple inputs are very important, because everyone's gonna have a different perspective. Everyone's gonna have a different take. That's the whole point of all this stuff. It's unique experiences. That's how I can keep doing this stuff, is because for some reason I seem to provide some unique experience that people like. But here we are. But let me know what you guys think about the leaks. Obviously, as I said, I can't show anything about the leaks. I can't show video footage, because I'm not trying to have the FBI come knock down my door and, put in the three back of my head. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to have them come out, not trying to have that. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I know it took a little bit longer, especially because, let's be honest here, we know that I like to do these episodes on Wednesday, so I don't like just dropping episodes like midweek, just like breaking news, like let's go. Like I've done it sometimes, but you guys have to be mindful. I'm a college student. I can't just sporadically drop content like that. Like it might be super unpolished and things like that, but I can't just do that, because I have responsibilities. I have other stuff that I need to do. But I do want to say thank you guys for at least being patient with me. I know it took a little bit of time to get this out there. Again, the story is ongoing. So, if more information comes out, then hey, we'll do another topic about it because you guys clearly care about it. Because let's be real, it's GTA 6. It's arguably the game of the decade. We know that people want this game. We know that we might be fortunate enough to see it this decade. Who knows? But let me know what you guys think. If you saw the leaks, let me know. If you haven't, well, you can go find them somewhere. You probably can easily find them online somewhere. But I want to say thank you guys for your love and support. I really do appreciate it. I do also want to say that I will try and make an effort to do 2 episodes this week because there is a lot of news that I want to cover and, well, we don't have enough time. Well, we do, but it's just, there's so much to do because of school. But again, thank you guys for everything. I hope you guys have yourselves a wonderful week and weekend. I know that just being transparent here, things have been a little bit hectic. I know that we've just been getting ready for, registering for classes for next semester, because I know for me, I'm proud to announce that, well, if you don't follow me on social media, I haven't made this announcement publicly yet, but I'm actually graduating early. I had originally mentioned that I'd be graduating in December of 2023, and based on a conversation with my advisor and based on the new scheduling and planning and stuff like that, I will now be graduating in August, so it's very exciting. I'm very nervous. I'm kind of stressed a little bit because I'm like, oh crap, I'm about to meet the real world much sooner than I thought by a couple months. And I'm going to do a real talk about this eventually because I feel like it's important to express some of these thoughts because there's a lot there. But hopefully you guys stick around. So if you like this episode, push the like button on YouTube, or hey, rate the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you like to listen to your podcast, and just let me know what you guys think about the show. And maybe I might see you guys Friday. So until then, I love you guys to death. And as always, don't do anything dumb. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye, guys. Hey there. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day and listening to today's episode. If you're interested in supporting the show, whether it be financially, clicking the follow button, or just sharing the episode, it all works for me, guys. Thank you guys so much for your time, and I love you guys to death.